Bonk SpotCast.
Welcome back to Bonk SpotCast, a podcast about the Bionicle community and its very creative members. Today I'm talking to the ultimate villain, Elistar, or James.
Hey, how's it going?
James
Oh,
is...
goodness.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know. It's a long time coming for me. So it's like, finally, I get to say it.
That's good. I was just going to say that you are a big Hero Factory fan with some great mocks, and you've written an epic 140-page fan fiction of Hero Factory, featuring your big bad, OC, and some other characters.
That is true. My
So-
goodness. I'm glad you referenced the book, my goodness, because it's such a daunting task, because of course it is a Hero Factory story, and I can't actually publish it, right? Because it's Lego and it's copyright. So I'm like, how am I supposed to get this out to people? And this podcast, now that you mention it, it's like, oh, hey, now people can get interested and question if they want to read it. I can send them a link,
Sounds
stuff
good.
like that. Yep.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little nervous because this is the first time I'm on the podcast. A little sore because I was doing yard work not too long ago. My legs are still just been hanging out. I just recently, actually, like a few minutes ago, as of this recording, I had posted my recent build, which was basically a broken up version of my more recent Villain Factory villain, but now repurposed into Elistar's Black Fleet. It's the Jamie put it up, the Black Fleet corpse, and it's like this nasty amalgamation of what the villain was, but then completely black, and he has like this giant arm cannon. Really cool.
Actually, I did see that right before we jumped on here. I like your use of the hands as like a little blaster. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, that goes back to 2018, 2019, when I was actually maybe even earlier than that. I just had the idea of what would look cool as a big but also practical cannon. It's like, well, I could just put all these Technic sort of TOA hands on there, like on a bar, like a 6L or a 5 or a 7L, and it's been used ever since.
Cool. So whereabouts are you from?
I was born in Portland and in Oregon.
All right, sounds good. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, there's not really much to tell, really. I'm a creative writer. I'm a pro gamer. Put up a cool pro gamer text, like an arch with pretty sparkles and big confetti. Pro gamer alert over here. I am a movie watcher, and I'm a self-proclaimed philosopher, just because I do a lot of deep conversations with people about various topics, and they seem to like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll just call myself a philosopher nowadays. And a grade A bozo, because I am still out of a job, been out of school since freshman year in high school. I don't do anything. I don't get paid by anyone. I just hang out, Most of my day is, gaming, then eating, and then on occasion I'll get on studio, or even then on my PC I'll still game, right? And play TF2.
Right. Yeah.
But other than that, that's really all it is.
Fair enough. Have you seen any good movies lately?
I wish. Nowadays movies for me are just not really interested. Good movies from my past recently, I've recently gotten back into watching the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings films. I'm going to be on the third one today from the Hobbit films, which is fun. But other than that, I haven't been watching anything really lately. No shows. I'm not a show guy. Never liked, especially live action stuff. I'm not too interested in that. And then movies. I forget which movies I had seen trailers for where I was like, oh, that looks interesting, but not really anything super gripping for me where I'm like, oh yeah, we should probably go to the theater and see that, you know.
That's fair. I'm not a big show guy either, to be honest. I mostly watch horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyway, I think this one's kind of a no-brainer for those who know, but for those who don't, what is the origin of your username?
The origin of the name Elistar, there are two things here. Firstly, I really liked the sound of the name. It really did sound clever and interesting. A lot of people have their special fantasy style names that they think up, and I was like, originally I was like, what do I, you know, how do I correlate this with what I do enjoy? And then I remembered, I was like, oh yes, that's right. The kingly name for Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings is Elisar, which I think means Elfstone. No correlation with Elistar, mind you. There's no like deeper meaning to his name other than that, you know. But that's where it comes from. The kingly name for Aragorn, which is Elisar.
That's cool. I never would have made that connection. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings person, but I'm sure someone else would appreciate that.
It's a deep cut for the book guys and for the extended edition movie guys.
So when and how did you get into Bionicle or Hero Factory or whatever?
I got into it very early on when I was around, I was going to say 5 or 6. I had gotten my hands on my first ever Toa. Same with my older brother. He had gotten, I think it was either Nuva or Mata. I forget which one comes first.
Mata.
Yeah, it was Mata. But we were a bit older and we didn't recognize, or we weren't technically getting presents from that time. So what we got was, I think it was him. He had gotten Nuva Tahu, which great gift for Christmas. My goodness. I was so jealous because I had gotten Nuva, I think it was Galley. Because she has the transparent mask, doesn't she?
Not the...
Or is that not
Nuva.
Is that not Gal?
I don't think any of them Nuva have transparent masks. Gali Mata has transparent masks.
I thought she did. Yeah. Well, maybe it was. See, my memory... Goodness gracious. My memory is so fucked with that.
No worries.
But yeah, that's when we first technically got into it. Was our parents just started gifting us Bionicle during that age, and as we grew older, we started to, or what was it? My parents had subscribed to the Lego magazine, and they had Bionicle in the magazine at the time. Remember that, all you old motherfuckers like me? Where it used to have the cool Bionicle and Hero Factory section. What a trip. That's what initially got me into it. Because if I remember correctly, they also had comics in those magazines for Bionicle and Hero Factory. Yep. And I was so hooked. I loved that shit. It was so entertaining to me. It gripped me because for the longest time, and you've heard me talk about this as well, is like we didn't really have anything that was super serious. You know, there wasn't a distinct, grounded story in Lego at that point. And once Bionicle came around, all of a sudden there was this serious story that was compelling and had deeper lore and had this very expanded universe that people could get into. And I was very much wanting to, even though I was young and dumb. I remember, I think it was like in 3rd grade at school, I had printed out like the full Wikipedia of Bionicle just so I could read the lore on my own. Of course, nowadays, I've forgotten it all completely, you know. Shout out to Gwen and her iconic quote of being a fake fan of Bionicle.
Right, yeah.
Get the crowd booing sound effect for that one. Get out of here. We're terrible.
Honestly, I was never super into the lore myself. Like, I think the existence of the lore was like compelling enough for me to like be more interested in the toys because there was some like mystery. There was some, I don't know, something that was compelling about them, but I never really dove into the books or anything like that.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, it's tough to get into. There's a lot there. And if you aren't willing to fully engage in it, then of course it's no big deal, right? You know, the average fan isn't going to be so ingrained in the terminology and the deeper story, which is fine, you know. But it just shows that it's still out there and that people can still go out and become what is in essence a true Bionicle fan, you know. And I like that. You know, it doesn't need the new age 2019 slop that we got. You know, it doesn't need to simplify anything.
Right. Sorry, are you done, or is there more?
Well, I mean, I guess I could say about Hero Factory.
Yeah, go for it.
That honestly was just me looking at them in the store at one point. You know, I was with my dad. You know, he's going out with me to shop basically for toys, and I'm just looking through the Lego aisle, or mostly at that time I was looking through the other sort of action figures and stuff like that, and the Nerf guns, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I went down the Lego aisle one time, and I had seen the new IP for Construction, which was Hero Factory, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Of course, I think this was all at the time when it was 3.0 with Savage Planet, and the Ben 10 sets were coming out. So I saw those. I remember I think it was Bulk in 3.0, and I was like, wow, that looks pretty cool. Of course, nowadays I think the 3.0 guys look like crap, but at the time I was like, wow, you know, these are cool with the animal heads and the cool claw weapons and things like that, and the villains were all great. I remember I had gotten Witch Doctor one year for Christmas, or maybe it was my birthday, and that was like my first Titan I ever got, and I was like, wow, this thing is fucking cool. And it was much more accessible to me because I'm a simplistic style of builder. You know, I'm not too keen on the overly aggressive, complicated builds. I don't do any crazy frames like that. So something like that with Hero Factory, especially at my age, I was like, this fits me more than Bionicle ever did. Even though I do enjoy, or did and do enjoy Bionicle much more, quote unquote, than I do Hero Factory.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I totally missed Hero Factory until like after the Dark Age or whatever you want to call it. I like bought some sets secondhand and realized that they actually have some really neat pieces, and I definitely like using the shells and stuff. Unlike certain people, Maxilla makes terrible
Throw
builder, terrible builder. Refuses
Throw
to
him up
use
and give him
CCBS.
Throw him up and give him a slap on the face.
Always.
Yep. It's such a versatile system, and I'm very glad that Lego went with it over the more complicated Technic stuff. Even though there's, you know, high respect for Technic, there's much more that you can do, I feel, with the CCBS system. In terms of just bulking things out without getting too complicated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think there's a place for both, but as far as being an actual toy for like children, like I think it's a lot easier to make a cool looking dude with CCBS than it is with like regular Technic.
Yeah. It's just so, in my opinion, it's just so much better. Of course I'll get a cavalcade of jeering from saying that. But I find it to be much more accessible and easier. Even if you are a super skilled builder with a lot of complicated ideas, you can still implement CCBS in ways that really test the limits. In my opinion, one good example is somebody like Brandon Mox, I think his name is. His builds. Yeah, Brandon Builds, not Brandon Mox. I think that's his handle on X.
Oh, okay.
Brandon builds his stuff when he uses CCBS, and he blends it with system. Like, that is an incredible feat. And he uses the uniters, the masters masks and stuff like that, which came in CCBS. It's like the way that he implements it alongside system and the original technique. Like, that's an amazing feat, you know? It shows how creative you can be by implementing every system in with one another. A big mishmash, and it makes it look amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I was just going to say there's another builder I was thinking of as well. Jox builds, like JOX.
Oh, yeah.
He's very great at like regular Bionicle Technic sort of looks, but recently he's been like doing a lot of Hero Factory builds that are, well, they look to be primarily using like just CCBS. I'm sure there's some little hidden Technic doodads in there somewhere, but like it's presenting mostly as, you know, CCBS Hero Factory stuff, and it looks amazing. Like, really using that system to make really neat looking stuff. It's just, I don't know. It is.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Totally viable.
His style is very out there. It's very like, it's a blend of what I would see as like what you would envision the actual Bionicle characters would look like. Like, it's like what you think they look like in your head as a kid when you see like the comics and stuff like that. You know, it's very much that look where they're super detailed and they're super pronounced, nice and big and broad. I was just looking right now at his Axon build. Like, that looks incredible. And it looks like what I would imagine he would look like in a new age as well. That's another thing. It's like, when I see builders reimagine what they would think it looked like when they were young. It's kind of like when you see a remaster of a game. It's like, this is what I thought it looked like back in the day. It's like, this is what I think this build looks like. Or rather, what I thought this build looked like back in the day, as opposed to now.
That's very true, honestly,
Yeah. That's kind of how I am with my current heroes, which we'll get into.
Speaking of your heroes, can you please provide a brief description of your Instagram account?
My Instagram account is primarily focused nowadays on the Hero Factory sort of vision that I have for Hero Factory. Let me start again, because this is going to be a little complicated. Clip that. My account is basically just showing a visual representation of what is in my book and what is going to be in other books related to the first one, Elistar's Wrath. You're seeing what these characters are supposed to look like in your head when you're reading descriptions of them in the book. A good example is like Breeze, the Knight, if you can pull that up. Another good example, of course, mind you, these examples are all just going to be the villains, but Breeze, the Warrior, the Cunning, Elistar in general, you know, these four figures are heavily described in the book, and I wanted to capture my vision of them using CCBS and system and things like that, and Technic, because that's where they come from, you know. Explode is the Warrior. Toxic Reaper is the Cunning. Have them back to back. Have Toxic Reaper, the Cunning. Have Explode, the Warrior. Show how they differ, but also how similar they are. Because that's something that I wanted to portray, is like, these are still these characters, but so empowered and so evil now that they're almost unrecognizable. But there's still that hint of like, oh, these characters are very intimidating and very scary and very strange. And it's the same with the heroes, you know. Have a back-to-back with, you know, like 1.0 Stormer or 3.0 Stormer or 4.0 Stormer with the 4.0M Stormer, which is the more enhanced, my version of it. It's like you're recognizing the original idea of Hero Factory, and then through the book, you're seeing this enhanced, very new age version of a hero through his description. And that's basically what what my account is showing what you would actually be seeing, or envisioning in the book, you know. And on occasion I'll do, you know, shout out posts do like a MOV of some characters. Like, what was the more recent one? I guess that would be you, which is Alex Parsons. Put that up. Put his mic. Right, zoom in on his mic. Alex Parsons and like Callie, Gwen, Pikaru. I did her as well. There's a big post, if you could pull that one up, of all the ones that I had mentioned that one time. Mm-hmm. I think it was, let me actually look at it here real quick. I can do a really early shout out of some builders, right?
Sure, yeah.
Who do we got in this one? It's you, it's Rixo. Rixo does drawing. Great guy. I love his builds and I love his artwork. My goodness. I remember one time, I don't know if you have the image of, or actually he did two. He did two drawings. He did Elistar, which is great, though he gave him like purple eyes. I was like, yeah. And then he did one of the knight, and his drawing of the knight is spectacular. I love it. And Jockey Boy, that guy, I love him to death. I hope to hear him on the podcast soon. He's so great.
Sorry, who did you say?
OMG Joshy Boy.
Oh, okay.
He's a builder. He does like, I don't know if you can find him, just...
No, I know, yeah.
Right now. Yeah, I was going to say, put up some screenshots of his builds, because he does like cloth work and things like that. A lot of it is like base frame with cloth. It's very cool. Who else we got? Ariba. Ariba's great. So funny. Pikaru, Gwen, Vakua the Mask Mirror. It's kind of a shame because Vakua kind of ditched his whole building scheme and is now doing, I don't even know what he's doing. Ben Cossey was in it. I forgot. I put Ben in the big post. Zoom in on Ben.
Of course.
Well, actually, you know what? That build that I did of Ben, it's basically just Surge, but I was really proud of that build of Ben initially. It's such a cute little, because it's just basic, you know. But it was so. What's the word I'm looking for? It was just ecstatic for me to, you know, get a like from him and get a comment from him on, you know, in PMs being like, this is great. Like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then, of course, Golden Kathy and Lady of Free.
Right.
Which, I don't know what she's doing. Because she did a few Destiny-style builds on her page. And I think she does Studio as well, yeah. She's got a few on there, but I don't know what she's been doing lately.
I don't know. I think I see from her like once a year on Discord. Yeah. That's it.
Goofy girl, get on the podcast, man. What the heck?
Yeah, we'll see.
We gotta hear from you. You're lost. We miss you.
Oh my.
What were we talking about?
Well, this all started when I asked for a brief description of your account. But speaking of brevity and your account, can you please give me a brief description of your story?
Brief description of my story. So 4 heroes walk into a bar. No, oof. Yeah, oof. Get the oof and the like small crowd laughing. Well, fuck. Never really actually had to describe shortly the story. In the mire of corruption and dark deeds by powerful people, a menace beyond their comprehension emerges, and no matter what they throw at him, he eventually destroys them.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, that was very quick.
It's that simple, folks. It's the big baddie. Duh. Like, okay. What else do you want from me?
You can read more about it in Elistar's Wrath.
Yeah. If you want to know more, just shoot me a PM, Elistar's Wrath Official. I can send you a link, because it's just a Google Doc. Pull up Google Docky.
I could probably throw it in the description if you want, but if you want it to be like a personal thing, then that's fine too.
Well, yeah, I mean, for now, I'll just keep it personal.
All right.
You know, I mean, well, actually, you know what? I'll send you a Google Doc link, and then you can just put it up, because I do want people to read it. You know, I really, like, because I had conversations with my parents about this. I was like, is there any legal ramifications if I publish it commercially? And of course, we got into a big, long-winded conversation about it. And basically, if it's not public domain, I'm fucked. So it's like, oh, great. And I actually don't know if Hero Factory is public. Put it up on screen. Do a hyper zoom in on the word no if it's not
I don't
public
know.
domain.
I doubt it. It's like Lego is pretty protective of their IPs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I highly doubt it, which sucks. But it's so damning for me because I did have a conversation with them and they were like, well, it's just so easy to change the names and just keep the story. And I was like, I can't really do that. These characters, as I see them, are these characters. It has to be Stormer. It has to be Breeze. It has to be Explode, as I see it in the vision. And maybe later down the line, I'll edit it so it can be published commercially and not as a Hero Factory story. But for now, I'll definitely send you a link and you can have it in the description so people can read, because I do want people to see what my vision is, which is a new age of serious, grounded construction storytelling. Mm-hmm. You know, I want there to be high stakes and a main villain, because it feels like we haven't had a main villain for like 20 years, you know, and I really, really wanted to do that. And hopefully people can see my vision through reading the story, because not to toot my own horn or anything, but it is pretty good.
That's good. I will say, if anyone listening wants to read this story, be nice, because writing is hard, and this is a big project.
Be as nice as you possibly can. I won't mind if you're like, this story sucks, I hate reading. That's fine, you know. But do keep in mind, you know, much to the chagrin of people like, you know, who has a master's, who has a master's in writing and a master's in theming and a master's in directing and a master's in producing. He seems to have a master's in everything. You know, I am not a professional author, not a professional writer. I'm not, you know, I never went to school for this shit. But from those who have, they have read it and they have said it is very good. So keep that in mind.
That's good. I still have to read it, to be honest. I've been busy lately.
I was going to ask you if you had read it, and if you have, fuck.
I'm also a very slow reader, so if I do start, it'll take me like a month or something.
Well, honestly, that's good. You know, there's a lot in there to think about and process, especially in the context of Hero Factory. There's a lot of things there.
I know nothing about Hero Factory, dude. So like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? There's also deeper connections to things like Bionicle, which you might get a kick out of, and some other creators out there who want to read it may get a kick out of. Specifically in the context of the Golden Masks and the theory of Bionicle being first and then Hero Factory being after. Those who know, you get it. You get it. You get what I'm talking about, but I have it reversed. So just keep that in mind.
Good to know. So anyway, getting back to the questions here. How involved in the Bionicle community would you say you are?
Sadly, I am actually not involved at all. Get the crowd booing. I know. Calm down, audience. Calm down. I'm not involved in any way. Save for just looking at the builds and thinking they look good. Again, going back to that fake fan thing. Many times I think to myself, maybe I should just get back into it and engage with the story again, because it's been so long, you know, and I want to have this relationship with the community. You know, I want to remember and recognize parts of Bionicle and the story and the pieces. I want to know the names and, you know, the nomenclatures and things like that. But I've been so bogged down with my story and subsequent stories afterwards that I just haven't really had the time nor the effort to get engaged again, which some people may be like, oh, that sucks. But many others would be like, oh, good, stay out,
Oh, yeah, fair enough. So you're not super involved, but are you in any are you in and around any communities online?
I am. I am in a few Discords for both Bionicle and Hero Factory, as well as just the mutual friends. I think of Onyx Crew, and I think of All Bionicle Rejects, which I'm barely in that. I go in there to post my mocks and stuff like that, see what people think of them, but I don't usually engage with them, and that's strictly because I'm no longer interested in the cringy, drama-y nonsense. Most of my interactions with those people are like, and it usually comes either from Chronic or some other guy like, where it's like nonstop troll questions or just shooting the shit with insults. It's like, I'm not interested in talking like that. I'm not interested in engaging in this way. I just want to hang out.
That's fair.
I just want to have some yucks, and I never get yucks. I get fucks.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I mean, that's not really the place to go if you want yucks. Anyway.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It depends who you are, I guess, but generally speaking.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, sorry. My entire body is sore, so when I lean back, I'm just like, oh, my back.
No worries. I'm getting old, too. It's okay. What's your favorite mock of your own at the moment?
My favorite mock of my own? Wowie, wow. I wasn't ready for the trick questions, okay? Actually, you know what? It's Furno. My 4.0M Furno that uses the Breakout helmet, or 1.0 helmet. That one was such a blast to build. I mean, it was always a blast to build, in my opinion. Because if you go down to the older versions, they're relatively the same. This one, though, it uses custom parts from Jam Studios, if you want to put him on screen. His Jam Pack, which is a Hero Factory and Villain Factory centered parts pack for Studio. And that pack has been such a boon to me for the past half a year, because that's basically when I got it. You can show multiple on screen here, just the heroes and the villains, just the overall look. Same with the Biopack, which also has crazy masks and things like that. But getting back to the favorite mock build here, Furno was, in my opinion, still is my favorite build, because his massive gun, which was a blast to build in Studio, hard to get it to pose, but it was very cool. His power pack, his shoulders, which, again, they are official parts technically, but the versions that I'm using are from the custom parts pack, and they look so good on the small plates. It's just fantastic.
You are a brave person for using tubes in your Studio mocks, because I can never seem to get those to
The flex
work.
tube? Oh,
yeah.
God. Well, the recent update made them so finicky. I hate it. It makes me not want to use them, because originally you could just, slowly but surely angle the specific flex tube to pose in a specific way, and you could actually get it to look like it's drooping or hanging. But now it's so stupid. I can't even describe to you how stupid it is. I didn't even, in my most recent post, I didn't even use flex tubes. I was going to, but I put static plastic tubes on the back of the most recent build, the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that flex tube, I remember that being a pain in the ass to connect. If you look here, where is it? If you look at the fourth image, if you zoom in way into right under his elbow there, you can see that the flex tube isn't even connected to the plasma pack. It's just dangling there.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to do that sort of thing. I understand.
Well, you can do it in editing. Snap zoom. There it is.
Exactly.
Put a big finger.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, see the whole editor do this thing is funny when the editor isn't the doing all the work.
Yeah.
but
we're just because it feels like in your head you're seeing it. You're seeing the edit, but in reality, it's just us giggling.
Yeah. That's cool. What are some of your favorite mocks from other people lately?
My favorite mocks from other people? Who was it that I had seen recently? And his builds, just incredible. Hunter Redsum. His builds are fucking amazing. I think it was his more recent one. Which one was it? It was this one, the Kel Malgoron, the Warden Vizier. This thing looks incredible. His use of cloth on this build is phenomenal. I don't know if you're watching Hunter Redsum, what did you use? Because it looks so good, and it's like posed up. He put like some sort of fucking. Actually, you know what? This looks like it was made, or not made, but taken from another figure, like an action figure. What did you do, Hunter? It looks so good.
I might be way off here, but it kind of looks like a Spawn cape to me.
It might be. You know what? It might be. Hunter, if you used a Spawn cape, let me know, because I really do want to know. I'm jealous of those guys who use the... special cloth from other things like action figures and stuff like, because I don't do that. I use official capes, and I use like a cut up long sleeve I've had for 20 years.
Yeah, I've done that too.
But yeah, that's my most recent in terms of like my favorite builds right now.
Okay. I like it. I like the big fuck ass Technic sword.
Dude, I love custom Technic swords.
Like it's a cool, very simple concept, but it's like done really well. I don't know. I like it.
Well, that's the bedrock of, creativity in terms of custom building. It's like, for me, right, simplicity is what makes it unique. If you can make something with just a few pieces and make it look good, then people will enjoy that, and you'll enjoy that. I think a good example, to bring it back to me here, because I'm the guest,
okay,
is my newest rendition of the Endeavor rifle. If you can put up that post, the simplicity of this design was, it started out in real life as basically just a skeleton of what it is. It was like two L bars, or L axles, I should say, and then like a couple of Technic bits that you put on to make it look like a gun. And previously, much like with most builders, they would use, and I did use, an axle for the connection to the hand. But of course, I adapted and changed from the static fist to a more advanced system hand, which I claim, by the way, Gwen and everybody else who said that people did it before I did it. I did it. I did it before everybody else, because nobody claimed it. Show the cool hand. My cool hand design.
Right,
I made that. Yes, my iconic hands. The two versions, which is the straight bar and then the 3-prong bar that I use for Elistar.
Right.
I switched to that hand, and that allowed me to shorten the handle on the gun, make it again more simplistic. It's that sort of stuff that when you experiment with it in real life and then continue to branch off of that experiment and make it, or rather refine it, I should say, refine it into this, what is in essence the perfect build for you, and that's what I consider like the gun and the new age builds of my heroes. Like that's as perfect as I can get them without, doing heavy deviations or using as custom frame, things like that.
Right. So, hypothetically, if you could choose any other builder to make a MOV of one of your mocks, who would you choose?
I would choose a couple people here. Let me see. Who was it? I would choose, since I just said him, Hunter Redsum, because his builds are fantastic. I would love to see how he does Elistar. And then I would love to see my inspiration, actually, EMS Mox. do his rendition of either Elistar or Brisk, who is my actual self-mock. Because his style, EMS, his style was very much what inspired me to create the 4.0M heroes as well as 4.0A, because he retains the 2.0 look by using the 2.0 heads and helmets and things like that. But he blends system in with his builds, and he uses badass custom guns and things like that. He makes them much more militarized, and that was my vision. For Hero Factory as a whole. Before I'd even seen him, I was like, I want to see something that's proper military and proper, badass looking. And when I had seen EMS and his builds, I was like, wow, this is, first of all, it's something that I can look at as reference, but also just a great builder. It's like, this stuff is fantastic. And what you're doing is so great. Of course, he never talks to me. I always message him and I'm like, dude, you're great. But he never says anything.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not sure he's still active in the community or even building, because I reached out to him for a while back, maybe last year, about doing a spotlight, a regular spotlight, and he basically just said that yeah, I'm not really doing Bionicle anymore. I don't want a spotlight anymore. So
that sucks.
Hopefully,
come on.
Yeah, maybe he can come back at some point. Who knows? But I think right now
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope he does, because I want to get some insight into what his sort of mentality was when he was building that stuff, because it's great. He has so many heroes, and they all have their own names and their own cool weapons and kit. I'm like, how did you come up with this? How inspired were you by Hero Factory that you could just create these hero teams, basically? Because they're amazing. Yeah, I'd have them. I'd have Hunter and EMS do Elistar or Brisk, either one.
Okay. Have you participated in any collabs?
There was one collab that I did, and it was a pod racer collab. You want to pull up my racer there. It was a very, one day build, basically. I was like, because at the time I was playing episode 1 Racer on Xbox. Though, of course, mind you, I still have the N64 one. It's okay, gamers. I'm not a poser. I'd been playing episode 1 Racer at the time, and I was thinking about it as I was racing, and I was like, has there ever been a pod racer collab? Has anybody ever just thought to make a Star Wars pod racer collab? Get, as much creativity out of you as you can with these, or at least in your head, with these crazy racers, these huge pods, these crazy looking colors and things like that. And of course, I think it was either you or somebody else in the community who had sent me a link to an Instagram account who I forget the name of right now.
Don't think that was me.
Yeah, I think it was you.
Was it?
You had sent... see, that's the thing. I don't think it was. Or maybe it was.
I do not remember, honestly.
All I do remember is that they sent me a link to a collab announcement, which was Racer collab, and I had built a racer in studio. Cute little racer. It's nothing too, over the top, because the racers in that collab were amazing. There were some crazy, hyper detailed. A lot of them were built in real life with stunning little set pieces that they had and tremendous lighting. It was fantastic. Mine was just little stinky racer with me as a Jedi, as the racer. And I think, I think in round 1 and I think round 2, no, you know what? It was just round 1. I had gotten 3rd place, and then in round 2 I lost. So I was like, fuck it.
Oh, well. That's still pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I was going up against some pretty hardcore builders. Their sets were amazing. But yeah, that's the only collab I've ever done. I'm not really too keen on going into collabs or anything like that. I do love seeing them, and I love seeing what people build. But I never get too involved, and I never want to join them because, I don't care much for the rewards. It feels like a lottery,
Oh, do you mean contests specifically?
Or I guess, yeah. I lump them both in because it's
fair enough.
They're both practically the same. The difference is somebody's getting a reward for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
maybe someday I'll get into a collaboration, but I don't know. It probably because most of them are like Bionicle related, and I'm not too versed in Bionicle. I'm not really good with the old Technic and Bionicle stuff. Like I can't really make mocks with that stuff. Again, fake fan, crowd booing. I get it,
whatever.
But
you like what you like.
It's all true. Yep, I like what I like, and what I like is Hero Factory, or at least the concept of Hero Factory and the expectation I had when I was a kid with Hero Factory.
On that topic, that's a good segue. What's your favorite Bionicle or otherwise Construction-related memory?
Oh, well, honestly, I don't really think I have a positive or negative memory in terms of Construction. I guess my ex-boyfriend Michael gave me all of his old Bionicle parts in like 2020, and he had what was very clearly parts for Makuta. And I was like, oh, fuck, babe, what the hell? When did you buy this guy, and how long have you had these pieces? Because I had never, when I was a kid, I really wanted Makuta. And to have some of his parts, I think he gave me his mask. I'd have to look for it. I'll just look for it later. If I do have his mask, like, holy shit, but I forgot. And then I think he gave me Onua's mask from Nuva. Or is it Mata? Which one is it? Which one came first? Yes. So it was Nuva. He gave me that mask and things like that, and a body, from the Nuva line that was black. I was like, oh, dude, perfect. These are great pieces. He basically just gave me a parts pack, and I was like, oh, thank you so much. A lot of Technic bits. That was I guess that can be the standout moment, because I had been needing a lot of stuff for Construction builds because I didn't have studio at the time, and my pieces were getting brittle. Mm-hmm. I do have a lot of, even with Hero Factory stuff, my pieces are brittle, which is so lame. It's lucky that I have studio, because now I can just build whatever I want. But I needed parts at the time, especially Technic parts, and he came to save the day, and I got so many from him. I was like, thank you so much. So yeah, that can be the memory.
That's really nice. Like, receiving Bionicle or Construction parts, in 2025 or in 2020, or like at any point after it ended, is such a special feeling, because it's like yeah, it's just, you can't beat it, really, honestly.
Or actually, you know what? Here's the best memory. Okay, so when I was younger, I had gone with my aunt to one of her friends' places, because I think she was moving out, or no, her son was moving out, and he was much older, and he was giving away some of his toys. And I had come with her because she wanted to see if I wanted some of his toys. So I was like, okay. And he had Hero Factory stuff as well as Ben 10 stuff. And I took some of the Ben 10 claws, and I took his 2.0 Nex and his Explode. Because I never bought Explode. Mm-hmm. I bought Toxic Reaper, and I bought, all this other Hero Factories, but I never bought Explode, and I never got any of the 2.0 heroes. So it's like, I'll take this. Same with Furno. That's where I got the iconic yellow head. Basically just stealing from this older guy. Oh. So that was just, it's a bit scummy of me to say it and think about it, but it's like, whatever. It's all water under the bridge. I was like 12.
Was he growing out of it, or was his mom just? Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I got older and gave away my collection, so I understand. It's I think I don't know.
Not me, man. Not me. I still have all my old stuff from back in the early 2000s, dude.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, okay. Some of the stuff has been lost to time, or been chewed up by a pet, but most of it is still here.
Right.
I think the only thing that I have missing technically is Jawler from the Inika line. It's so funny. I don't understand, because I technically have two pairs of the all of the Inika characters, except for Jawler. I had him previously. I had him with. I had got him from my aunt as a gift, and then I had got him from my mother as a gift, and both of them disappeared I don't know what happened. I still have some of the pieces, but I don't have his head. I don't have his mask. I don't have his body. It's like, where did this go? What happened? I have them all, except for Joller, every time.
That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that does happen with childhood stuff. Like, I actually ended up getting my collection back, which was really sweet. But there were definitely like
Nice.
little things missing that I missed. But like, I honestly can't complain considering the circumstances.
Mm.
But you know, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just memory now when it comes to things that you lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always a chance to get stuff like that back, because I'm sure you can find stuff like that on eBay. It'll be pricey for sure, but you know, you can find that stuff.
Yeah.
Be it in a secondhand store or eBay or even Lego stores at like a mall. I remember, I think it's Washington Square Mall. They have a little Lego store, and if I remember correctly, it was one of the Mata sets in there. I was like, wow. And it cost like $50, but I was like, wow. At least they're still selling it.
That's cool. We don't really have any of that in Canada, but there's always like Bricklink or Marketplace or whatever. There's ways.
Yep. And I'm sure if you use Bricklink more often, you get stuff like discounts and things like that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, I was going to ask, do you have any community-specific memories that are
Gwen declaring December 8th being Ellistar Day. That was funny. She had, what was it? She had commented, or no, what did she do? She had talked with me at one point. I think she forgot my birthday, which was January 8th, and she wanted to make it basically as a meme celebration. She called it Ellistar Day. But she had said it to me on the 8th of December. So I was like, what? Why the 8th of December? She was like, I don't know. So I was like, okay. But yeah, that's a standout moment. Her declaring Ellistar Day, which is now an official, real, authentic holiday made by me. Since January 8th is my birthday, I was like, I'll just switch it from December 8th to January 8th. That way I can have my celebration of my birthday, and then everybody else can celebrate Ellistar Day.
That's hilarious. I don't remember Gwen starting it. That's really funny.
It was so goofy. I do need to...
Are there any communities, creators, friends, etc. you'd like to shout out?
Shout out. Obviously, the long forgotten EMS Mox, because he's no longer doing shit. I'm shouting out Ben Cossey as well, even though he's been shout out multiple times on here. I want to shout out Timmy Bionicle, The Bioforge, Twisted Bricks. Get that guy on the show. Oh my goodness. His stuff is amazing. I love his Void War stuff. Bionuva, Pikaru, The Lovely Lady. Gwen, The Lovely Lady. Get the ladies back on. Golden Kathy, get them back on. You know? Yvonne 21. Bugs T-Rex. Who else? Brickbot Studio. His stuff is great. Who else? The iconic Alex Parsons. I would love to see him back on.
Oh man, no one wants that.
Bionicles. Bonklaria. Let me see. Bionic Forge. Kind of just skimming through them right now, but who else? What other crazy creator? Bionicle Forever. This guy. Get him on. I want to hear from him. What a cool builder and what a cool animator. My goodness. This crazy freaking Matoran Toa Bionicle thing that he's making. I really want to see more of that. And I want to know like the behind the scenes. Get him on the podcast. Because his stuff is amazing. Put him up. Put up like the face of the cool 3D Matoran, but then like fade into the laughing meme emoji.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, that's my shout-outs.
I'm not sure if Bionicle Forever is doing the Renaissance VFX stuff, if that's what you're referring to.
Is he not? I thought he was.
Maybe? I don't know. The way he posts about it makes me think it's like a feature, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I'll have to look into the. I don't want to spread misinformation. I don't know.
Right. I don't know.
Just how it's.
We
seemed.
don't know.
I don't know.
Put up the misinformation alarm. There's nothing. We have no idea. Let's just say that we don't know. Yeah, another shout out. Obviously, the iconic, the famous, the infamous in some circles, Christian Faber. Obviously, eventually he's got to come on here. My goodness, he's got to have some time. He's got plenty of time for Duck Bricks. Shout out to Duck Bricks.
I don't even know what I'd ask that man about, honestly. Why did you close the Rebel Nature Discord?
Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, because somebody was talking about the Rebel Nature Discord, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me see if I can find that. And it was nowhere to be found. So I'm like, is there a thread? Is there somebody with a link? Can I get something? And apparently it's gone. So it's like, gone. Well,
yeah.
Speaking of Rebel Nature, what the actual fuck is it about? Like, it looks interesting.
That is the great question of our time.
It's so lost in translation for me. Because, like, on the one hand, I think it's a Bionicle story because he's talking a lot about Bionicle in relation to the story. So I'm like, okay, it's just a new age Bionicle story. But then he talks about, like, art and AI and other creators in the community and storytelling. I'm like, what? Okay, you're blowing up my mind with so many possibilities on what this is that you're not actually explaining to me what it is. I wish he was more coherent with it. Maybe it is just lost in translation. I don't understand, but I'm sure something will come about because I've seen like motion capture stuff from him. I've seen some 3D rendering from him about Rebel Nature. I've seen a lot of concept art, and I'm sure it's going to be interesting, but until it happens, which it's been like 3 years, dude, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I think that's a very common gripe about that project, where there's a lot of really neat art, concept art, and ideas, and little tidbits of behind the scenes stuff, but there's no real actual concrete, like anything, which is difficult to care about.
It's basically just, which is my gripe with a lot of creative people. It's just creativity for creativity's sake. It's like, we're just putting stuff out there. It's like, can you give me something substantial? Can you give me something with a bit of weight to it? Because this is just stuff. I could find this shit on Etsy.
Damn.
Not to be too insulting to the guy, because I have high respect for Christian Faber. I was actually very happy when he responded to me about my story, because I could send you what he told me about my story, because he said it was a very ambitious project and very compelling. And I sent him my story. Of course, never got back to me. Come on now. But I feel so honored, to meet this legend of construction and Lego, because he was involved with a lot of projects. And it feels so satisfying for somebody like me who grew up with the things that he had created, and then just get to have a conversation with him, and to get the opportunity to send my story his way, which, depending on what he's thinking about or what he considers good storytelling, this could be something really cool that he could read and he could appreciate.
Man, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Are you sure he's not going to rip off your story for Rebel Nature?
Well, I can always sue.
True.
I think
he might have a little more power there.
Right. I was going to say, I think he's got a bit too much power compared to me. I don't think he would do that just because
I'm just joking around.
I think he's just got more respect than that. I don't think he would plagiarize anything. Well, okay. I say that, but there are many people who do like to plagiarize stuff and like to copy from other things that they've seen, which is fine. But
I'm just joking around. This is all a joke.
No, I get that. It's just like, if it does come to happen, it's like, oh fuck, what have you done? Internal perspective, like, what have you done, you fool? How could you do this? Send him the story? He's notorious for not telling good stories. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, quite the contrary. We just need to see something from Rebel Nature. Like, we just
absolutely
see anything.
I need to see Yeah, a comic or a teaser trailer that's based in the story so I can get a synopsis. I don't need to just see you questioning if AI is ethical.
Right. Yeah.
We get it, dude. I don't need to see you posting about the Amazon rainforest for the 12th time on Instagram. Please just explain Rebel Nature to me in basic detail.
Yeah. Do you have any mocks or projects you're excited about, like upcoming?
There is one that I've been thinking about for a long damn time. The Armored Mortiphant. That thing is supposed to be what is described in the books as basically siege beasts. These giant, nasty-looking, heavily armored quadruped monsters in Elistar's Black Fleet. The Armored Mortiphant, it's supposed to be a armored carrier that has a huge cannon on its back, and its insides are hollow to store munitions and additional troops. It's something that I've been thinking about and wanting to build for a long time. I do, if I remember correctly, I have a couple of posts from a long time ago. I think it was 2019 or 2020, where I did build a small concept of them, and they're kind of iffy because, I'm terrible with IRL building. But it's supposed to be this hollowed out beast with giant tusks like an elephant, sort of a skull-shaped face, massive arms in the front with huge hands. Again, the cannon is supposed to be just massive, sort of a proper siege beast, something that can destroy buildings, destroy walls, things like that. And that's something I've just been wanting to do for a long time, and I still haven't gotten down to even the base frame of what it's supposed to look like, just because I'm mostly focused on unit building for Villain Factory and additional hero stuff, as well as the more recent rehashing of the villains from Elistar's Wrath with the capes and stuff. Pull up the Cunning using the custom hood from another parts pack, which I forget the name of. But he uses a minifigure hood, and it looks of course, it looks so badass to me, but I think it looks goofy to a lot of other people.
Whatever. This elephant idea of yours, is it Lord of the Rings inspired?
No.
Oh,
This was... What was it that actually inspired the Mortiphant? Fuck. It's been so long. It's been so long that some of these, I don't even remember what inspired me. Because some things, right, like the Villain Factory guys and Hero Factory, those are easy inspirations. For the heroes, it's like Halo Reach, fucking Gears of War, and a little bit of Warhammer, mostly in the guns. Stuff like that, and same with the villains. It's like Gears of War, a little bit of Helldivers with the automatons. A lot of that's some Lord of the Rings inspiration as well, sort of Mordor style orc savagery, where they're scrap style parts and things like that. Most of that stuff is easy inspiration, but when it comes to certain things like the Mortiphant, like what else? The Warrior, there's a lot of things there that were inspiration at one point, but have been forgotten or replaced by other things.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you touched on Halo and Warhammer, etc. What are some of your other hobbies?
My other hobbies? Oh, that's it. I just game and build.
Okay.
That's all I do. Well, you know what? I'm a smoker.
Is that a hobby?
That's my hobby. That's my addiction hobby, where I just sit outside and have a cigarette and have long-winded conversations with my mom about useless drivel that she doesn't care about.
Have you ever tried quitting smoking?
On occasion, I have. There will be a couple of weeks where I'm like, you know what? It's time to stop. Because that's usually when I'm doing stuff and when I'm actually productive. But then I'm like, you know what? This doesn't really make a difference to my production in terms of building on studio and doing stuff, because I do a lot of yard maintenance outside, because my parents are too old and crotchety to do it on their own. I need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really change anything, for the most part, I just smoke to have fun. I'm outside having a smoke, having a drink, chatting with the family. Sometimes it's for deep and long thought, especially when it comes to my story. I'll sit out there on mostly a good day. I'll have a smoke, and then as I'm smoking, I'm thinking about, what can I add or what can I change to the story? Whereas when I'm not doing that, I'm usually gaming, not really focused on what I'm doing with my project. A lot of procrastination, basically. But yeah, that's really it, just gaming, building, chatting.
Fair enough,
yeah. Again, pulling into that big loser mode for me. Put up loser mode.
Okay, we'll see. Oh, you're too honest.
Well, that's my positive quality. It's me being honest.
Fair enough.
Honest and lucky. Honest and lucky.
Let's see here. That's about it. Did you have any questions for me?
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been sick, actually, but it's like, I'm pretty much over the sick part. Just onto the coughing part, yeah.
I remember you were talking about that not too long ago, and I was like, are we ever going to make it to the specific interview? Are we going to make it to the podcast with him being sick?
No.
Thankfully, it's just a cough, so that's good.
Yeah, Borderlands 4 came out.
Oh yeah, Borderlands 4 came out. Is it good, or is it just Borderlands?
I mean, it is just Borderlands, but there's some improvements. It honestly feels a lot like Destiny now, which is pretty crazy.
Yikes! New Age Destiny.
I don't know, man. I just mean explicitly the movement and shooting, like not the anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah,
honestly,
gunplay
like that. Yeah, I was going to say the best parts of Destiny are way behind us.
Yeah, I've heard. Sorry, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was going to say, how was Chronic's half birthday?
Oh, that was great. I guess there's a little extra context needed for most listeners, but
yes,
I just went on a trip to Halifax with some online friends in the Bionicle community, and including Chronic Bionicle, who had never had like a fun birthday party with his friends before. So he let us know it was his half birthday while we were on the trip, and we all planned this big surprise party for him that he was totally not expecting, with like ice cream cake and streamers and gifts and like the whole 9 yards. We went bowling. Our friend Kanohi Faxon cooked him a nice steak, cooked everyone's steak. It was really excellent. That party was lovely. Yeah.
That's awesome. And of course I was abruptly put into the situation.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were
it was so funny.
Drinking and vaping and eating edibles as you do, and this was a lot of people from Onyx crew who you've been kind of in and out of.
Yeah, I was going to say kind of in and out of.
Anyway, I forget who even thought this.
Who was?
I don't remember who started this, but someone was like, let's call Ellis Star on Discord when we're all drunk and high.
I bet you $1 million it was either Glenn or Chronic.
It was probably Chronic.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a nice call, and we ended up, inviting Ellis Star back to the Discord. And
yes.
It's been all.
It was so funny because I was just hanging out, I think I was upstairs at the time playing Helldivers because I had just gotten it. So I was like, all right, just hanging out. And then all of a sudden I get a call from, I think it was you. So I was like, what the fuck? So I hung up and I was like, what are you calling me for, you dork? I was like, are you starting a podcast for me right now, you motherfucker? And then I got the reply, just pick up. I was like, all right, somebody's dying, clearly. I pick up the phone and it's all you guys cheering and being like, "Hey," all drunk and high. I'm like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" Your finest hour is so funny. So technically I was there at the half birthday for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, I'm out of here. Are you crazy kids?
Yeah, it was a good little call
though. I guess another couple of questions. What do you think of my builds?
I like them. I think you've been posting some very interesting like new builds lately. I think like when we first started chatting, you tended to post a lot of like Alistar, a lot of like variations, and a lot of like variations of the green dude and the red dude.
The green dude.
I don't remember Hero Factory stuff, but anyway,
get the crowd booing. Clipping the audio. That was so bad, dude.
But no, lately I've been enjoying your posts. They're really neat. I like the tactical looking dudes, and I like their weapons in particular. There's some good techniques in there.
Thanks, man. Well, that technique, I can actually look at it right now because it's real. It's real, man. This technique that I use on the thighs, it's real. But what I use in studio, of course, is not the same. What I do in studio is I'll have a 2x3 plate clipped into the actual CCBS thigh plate so that it doesn't look like there's any gaps in between the plate and the tactical gear. But that stuff, that was where the EMS Mox inspiration came in, because he used stuff like that. And I was like, I could do that, but cooler. And then, of course, the last question, what's your favorite mock of mine so far? Let me guess. It's Alistar.
We gotta pull it up. Let's see here.
What you got?
I'm looking. Damn, chill. I mean, aside from the iconic Alistar, I do like the Brisk with like the tactical looking Halo helmet. I don't know, just a neat look. Yeah,
I was actually very happy that Jam reached out to me, and because I had basically shilled his parts pack, and he reached out to me and he was like, "Do you want a custom helmet?" I was like, "Absolutely." And I had sent him pictures of the Wilhelm helmet from Halo Infinite. It's just the warrior helmet from Halo 4 and 5. And I was like, can you make this helmet but more Hero Factory? And he was like, yeah, I could do that. Of course, originally it didn't have as much bulk on the sides of the helmet as it did. That came down to my negging, which, of course, it turned out very well. I love the helmet. I love Jam's work, and I love that he is one of the few people who is actually making Hero Factory stuff. Because it feels like, doesn't feel like it is the fact that Hero Factory doesn't get a lot of love. So seeing people making parts pack for Hero Factory and stuff like that, it's very touching. It's very touching to me, because I'm very much a Hero Factory guy, and I want to make sure that I'm making as cool and as badass of Hero Factory builds as I can.
That's great. Is there anything else you'd like to include?
Put up the pic of the Alistar meme of him saying, "End it, it hurts."
Oh yeah, I will if I can find it for sure.
Yes. Actually, you know what? After this, we'll ask around in Onyx Crew, because I bet you Chronic has all the memes. Put them all on screen if we find them. Put them all on screen.
Yeah, I will.
Zoom in. Yeah. Zoom in as aggressively as you can on the non-canon picture, because that one was so funny.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Good.
I hope you enjoyed my discussion with James. If there's a Bionicle community member you'd like to see featured, give a shout to @Bonk Spotlight on Instagram. And that's it for today's episode. Have a bonkin' good day.